You're listening to the AstroMommy Newsletter read-aloud version of my daily horoscope published on Substack. If you would like to read this, please click on the link in the description box below. Without further ado, here is the daily horoscope. New Moon and Libra horoscopes for each sun or rising sign, plus a 3-card reading for our souls. Weekend horoscope for Saturday and Sunday, September 24th through the 25th, 2022. Welcome to the AstroMommy Newsletter, a daily horoscope that hopes to shine a light in the dark, helping us all see where we've been, where we are, and where we're going. The AstroMommy Newsletter is a reader-supported publication, meaning it only thrives thanks to the generous support of lovely people just like you. The 2 best ways you can support my work are to share this newsletter with a friend and to consider upgrading to a paid subscription. Whether you're a first-time reader or a long-time subscriber, thanks for being here. I truly appreciate you being in my community. I hope you enjoyed today's horoscope and card reading. Blessings. Good morning, friends. Well, again, I truly appreciate each and every one of you who reads or listens to the horoscope every day. It is really a pleasure to have such a supportive community of subscribers. So I want to remind you all that I have the new Client 2 reading special, where you can purchase a natal chart reading with a subsequent solar return reading 2 weeks later for the current year at a special discounted price of $100 for both readings. This is a savings of $20. And if you are already a client, please remember that I do horary readings, transit readings, and solar return readings, all of which you can find the prices and the details for at my booking site. Just click on the link at the bottom of the newsletter to check them out. Okay, let's get into the astrology. Well, the big transits of the weekend are Venus opposite Neptune and the new moon in Libra opposing Jupiter in Aries. We've already been talking a lot about these transits in preparation for this weekend. Now we find ourselves here in the thick of it. I don't know about you, but this Venus opposite Neptune transit, coupled with the dark moon in Virgo, has hit me like a tsunami. Yesterday, I was thinking to myself, I told everyone not to freak out, so why am I freaking out? Well, as my husband pointed out yesterday, if you're the weather person and you predict the storm, it doesn't mean you get a free pass, right? Well, I was sure experiencing it yesterday. It was a nice downpour with thunder and lightning and a little hail too. But I made it through, in part because I understood what was happening and also because I leaned on my support system. Thanks, guys. How about you? Did your AstroMommy umbrella hold up? So I was thinking about what would be most helpful to write about today, and I think a horoscope for each sun or rising sign for this new moon in Libra, happening tomorrow, Sunday, September 25th, 2022, would be of the most benefit. This type of horoscope always takes me a little bit longer to write, but I think it will be worth the wait. Plus, I had several power outages today. We will all be feeling the effects of this new moon for the entire lunar month, new moon to new moon. Before I dive into the horoscope for each sign, I want to take a moment to examine the new moon chart. I have put a picture of it below. You can see in the chart the sun and the moon on the right at 2 degrees of Libra. Mercury and Venus are right next to them, about to conjoin next week, and Venus is still in her opposition to Neptune, although by the time of this new moon, which is happening at 5:54 p.m. Eastern Time, Venus will have already moved off the opposition to Neptune by about 2 degrees, meaning that the peak of that transit will have passed by then. The sun and the moon are opposite Jupiter, and this is a major factor of this new moon. Jupiter in Aries is an independent, larger-than-life, going to do what I want kind of attitude, and the sun and moon in Libra are diplomatic and want to create peace and harmony, partnerships, relationships, and love, and so there is a tension between the individual and the partnership. So this new moon could bring up a lot about relationships in your life, no matter what house it falls in, because there is this seesaw of energy going on. Our beliefs about ourselves and our autonomy versus how we integrate, work, and communicate with those we are in relationships with, and how we maintain autonomy in all of that are being challenged. So let's get into it. Here is a quick new moon horoscope for each sun or rising sign. This will make the most sense if you read your rising sign. There are also many websites where you can generate a free natal chart to figure out your rising sign, also called your ascendant. My favorite is Cafe Astrology at www.cafeastrology.com if you want interpretations, and astro.com at www.astro.com if you just want the chart. Reply to this email if you need assistance in figuring this out. I'd be happy to help. Aries. The new moon in Libra will be happening in your 7th house of relationships, marriage, partners, and other people. And Jupiter in Aries is opposite this in your 1st house of your life, your body, your health, and new beginnings. So, this new moon cycle is activating new deals and new partnerships for you. And these new deals or partnerships are playing tug of war with your independence, and they are affecting your life in a major way. So, there could be a feeling of having to compromise your own autonomy for these relationships to work, but the intention is for things to work out. So, I feel that this new moon cycle is really bringing that into focus for you. When Venus ingresses into Libra on the 29th, she will bring good fortune to this area of your life as well. She will oppose Jupiter on October 1st, so there could be a few days of figuring stuff out that could be a little rocky relationship-wise, but in the end, decisions will be made that further things along in a positive way. Taurus. The new moon in Libra will be happening in your 6th house of illness, injuries, subordinates, and work, and is in opposition to Jupiter and Aries in your 12th house of loss, sickness, enemies, and confinement. So this new moon cycle is activating some pretty powerful houses that could bring up some challenges for you. There is a feeling of wanting to keep things in balance with your health during this new moon, opposite the feeling of just wanting to ignore the situation at hand and pretend it's not there. So I would be careful about shoving things under the rug, procrastinating that doctor's visit, or indulging in too much of something that you know is not the best for you health-wise. This new moon cycle will bring up your vices and addictions, and there may be a feeling of wanting to do what you want, even if it hurts you or those you are in relationships with. So be mindful of this. There is an intention with the moon being in Libra to keep the peace and have harmonious relationships, so keep that in mind when you make your decisions this month. On another note, these two houses also have to do with pets and large animals, so there could be something that comes up regarding your pet's health during this new moon that you have to deal with. So health and wellness are a big focus for you during this new moon cycle. When Venus ingresses into Libra on the 29th, she will bring some supportive energy to this area as well. Gemini. The new moon in Libra will be happening in your 5th house of children, pregnancy, pleasure, and sex, and Jupiter and Aries will be opposing this new moon in your 11th house of friends, groups, alliances, hopes, and wishes. So this new moon is activating a powerful creative force within you, and there's the potential to form partnerships, relationships, or bonds in some way with others in order to bring it about. This super creative force, which has the power to create new life, is being opposed by the feeling that you can forge ahead on your own, you don't need anyone else, and you can do this yourself. But this new moon cycle, I think, is trying to teach you that partnerships and bonds can help you receive your wish, and they can support who you are at the same time. So I think that this is a really powerful placement to have the new moon energy, and it carries with it the desire for peace, harmony, and love. This is also the house of pregnancy and children, so keep that in mind this month. When Venus joins the sun in her home sign of Libra, this area of your life will get another boost of good fortune, so be ready for that. Cancer. The new moon will be happening in your 4th house of parents, home, family, and endings, and is opposite Jupiter in Aries in your 10th house of career, reputation, authority figures, and the mother. So this new moon cycle is activating a desire to bring harmony, peace, and balance to your home life. There could be a push and pull between home and career during this time, when you may want to independently forge ahead with your business or your job, but there are obligations at home that you have to keep in balance at the same time. This represents a juggling act that is necessary to get what you desire and want, both at home and at work. This transit could even indicate a relocation or a move of some kind. When Venus comes into Libra on the 29th, your home life will get a boost of positive and supportive energy. Things could heat up as the two benefics, Jupiter and Venus, oppose each other on October 1st, but hopefully it will cause just the sort of tension that makes a tango a great tango. These are the two benefics after all. So managing home and career are a huge focus for this lunar cycle. Leo. The new moon will be happening in your 3rd house of siblings, elementary type education, local travel, and communications, and be opposite Jupiter and Aries in your 9th house of long distance travel, belief systems, foreign places, and people, as well as higher education. So there is the feeling of wanting to bring peace, harmony, and balance to your immediate environment, and there is tension around that because of a strong belief that you are holding on to, or a desire to travel or study. There could be some drama that comes up with your siblings or your neighbors, and you may have the feeling like you just want to get away from it all and go on a road trip, or travel to someplace new that will take the pressure off. There could also be the feeling of wanting to get on the same page with those around you, and this could be hard because you may be feeling some strong opinions or beliefs about certain things, and it would be easier if those people would just climb on board your bandwagon. So diplomacy is key to keeping the peace this month. When Venus comes into Libra on the 29th, she will bring some resources that you can use to smooth things over a bit more, and conversations may get easier. Virgo. The new moon will be happening in your second house of finances, money, livelihood, and possessions, and is opposite Jupiter in Aries in your eighth house of death, inheritance, and other people's money. So this is an important month to keep your bank account in balance. There could be a feeling like your money situation is rising and falling in drastic swings, like the tide coming in and the tide going out. Sometimes there's a surplus and other times there's a drought. So this is a good month to pay special attention to where your money is going. This need to keep track of your material possessions and money is being opposed by Jupiter in the 8th, so there is a feeling of wanting to help others in a big way, or concern about debt building. Jupiter in Aries in the 8th feels to me like there are resources at your disposal, but there is the feeling that if it is spent in haste, it could go too quickly and create debt. So there is a tension there, wanting to give aid, support, and blessings in that Jupiterian way, and also wanting to make sure you can still put food on your own table at the end of the day. The main feeling here is needing to weigh out the options and make a decision about what you're comfortable with. When Venus enters Libra on the 29th and comes into your second house of finances, she will bring with her a boost of positive, beneficial energy that will support your efforts. She will oppose Jupiter on the 1st of October, but their good natures together will find a workable solution. Libra. The new moon in Libra will be happening in your first house of your life, your body, your health, and beginnings, and be opposing Jupiter in Aries in your seventh house of relationships, marriage, partners, and other people. So this new moon is activating your life in a big way. There is a desire to start something new in your life, and this could have to do with diet and lifestyle, or this could have to do with your environment and living situation. You want to bring more peace, harmony, and balance to your life in general, and probably in all the areas, and something may feel out of whack right now. The opposition to Jupiter in Aries in the 7th house indicates to me that there is the feeling of desiring a partnership or relationship that embodies the same values that you have of wanting to create a life of abundance, beauty, and teamwork. There could also be the feeling right now that your special someone in your life is thinking of themselves too much and not helping create the life that you are envisioning together. So there may be the feeling of wanting to find a diplomatic compromise or a workable solution so that everyone's needs are met. When Venus ingresses into Libra on the 29th, she will bring with her positivity and good fortune that will help bolster your efforts to create peace and harmony. She will oppose Jupiter on October 1st, so there could be a few days of figuring stuff out that could be a little rocky, relationship-wise, but in the end, decisions will be made that further things along in a positive way. Scorpio. The new moon in Libra will be happening in your 12th house of loss, sickness, enemies, and confinement, and is in opposition to Jupiter in your 6th house of illness, injuries, subordinates, and work. I'm not going to lie, this new moon cycle could rock your world emotionally and/or physically. Things may come up that bring light to situations or circumstances that you have been shoving under the rug. This is a month when the closets are opened and cleaned out spiritually. This may be the month that illnesses decide to make themselves known, and you can't ignore them any longer. It's like that tooth, that has a cavity making a fuss, and you have to go to the dentist. This could also indicate old injuries or illnesses coming back and running amok. So this is a good month to pay special attention to your health. If you can get ahead of this and go to the dentist early, for example, there's a chance that you can avoid an acute situation. These two houses also have to do with pets and large animals, so there could be a situation that comes up involving your pets. When Venus comes into Libra on the 29th and enters into your 12th house, you can expect a little bit of aid, support, and help, but she will be opposing Jupiter in your 6th on October 1st, so this could mark a turning point when a decision needs to be made that is uncomfortable at first, but at the end of the day is a just one. No one likes going to the dentist, but after they fill that cavity or extract that tooth, it feels way better, right? Sagittarius. The new moon in Libra will be happening in your 11th house of friends, groups, alliances, hopes, and wishes, and will be opposing Jupiter in Aries in your 5th house of children, pregnancy, pleasure, and sex. This could be a time when you're feeling very independent and self-reliant, but this new moon may bring to light the need for support from friends, groups, or alliances. This transit reminds me of the proverb, "It takes a village to raise a child." I feel that this type of sentiment could be very literal if you have children or have recently had a child, and that it is activating the need for a harmonious community to raise your family in. I also feel that it could be very symbolic. Whatever you are creating and bringing forth into the world, quote, your child, will need support from others to thrive. So this could be the book you're writing, the art you're creating, or the restaurant you're opening. Anything you create will need some support. When Venus makes her way into Libra on the 29th and then opposes Jupiter on October 1st, she will bring in reinforcements and guidance for how this community can really manifest, even when we want to be independent and single-handedly create everything ourselves. This would be a beneficial time to put your ego aside and accept the help. I am reminded of the time after the births of my third and fourth children. I lived in a little town on the coast of California, and it was a really tight-knit community. The women there organized a food train where people signed up to bring me and my family dinner for the 2 weeks after the births. This was such a big help. Sure, we had managed our first 2 children without this support, but it was such a blessing to not have to think about dinner during those first 2 weeks when everyone is so tired, not to mention moving through the transition of incorporating a new child into the family. That was the first time that I really felt what it was like to be in the support of a village. This transit may also manifest as you being the one to give support and help someone in your community who is trying to create something or who just had a new baby, for example. This reminds me of another saying, be the friend you want to have, and the quote by Mahatma Gandhi, be the change you want to see in the world. All of these types of sentiments are being activated with this new moon in Libra. Capricorn. The new moon will be happening in the 10th house of career, advancement, reputation, authority figures, and the mother, and will be in opposition to Jupiter and Aries in your 4th house of family, parents, home, and your roots. This lunar cycle is activating your career in a big way. This could mean a new career situation happening for you. With Jupiter in the 4th, this could also indicate that you want to move or make some sort of big change to where you live, but it is dependent upon your job. This new moon is about initiating and taking that first step towards building a career or a reputation that you can feel as solid, grounded, and rooted in something you believe in, something that lights you up inside and gives you that Aries gusto to charge forth. With Jupiter in the 4th, there is a need to feel independent and autonomous at home, opposing the reality that you have to cooperate with others in a harmonious way at work and when you're out in the world in order to make ends meet. So there could be a little bit of an ego check here. When Venus moves into Libra on the 29th and opposes Jupiter on October 1st, she will bring with her some aid, relief, and positivity to the situation, but not without a compromise being made and an agreement happening. Aquarius. The new moon in Libra will be happening in your 9th house of travel, foreign places, and people, higher education, and belief systems, and be opposing Jupiter and Aries in your 3rd house of local travel, your local community, your siblings, elementary education, and communication. This new moon cycle is activating a tension between your educational goals and your desires to travel, or a tension surrounding your beliefs versus the data you have collected. So this lunar cycle may feel like it is riddled with choices about how you can keep the peace while still honoring your own opinions, beliefs, and maybe even how you were educated on something. There could be a sibling or a neighbor that feels very different from you, and arguments are possible concerning your different points of view. But the overall desire is to find a peaceful solution where everyone is equally heard and represented. This type of solution will require compromise or for the 2 parties to agree to disagree on the matter. When Venus comes into Libra on the 29th and then opposes Jupiter on October 1st, we could see the tensions between these personal relationships heat up for a bit and then come to a peak before a resolution is made. But at the end of the day, Venus and Jupiter want to bring good fortune into our lives, and so there may be the feeling of being better off after the compromise has been made. Pisces. The new moon in Libra will be happening in your 8th house of death, inheritance, and other people's money, and will be in opposition to Jupiter and Aries in your 2nd house of finances, livelihood, and movable possessions. This new moon is activating where others share their resources with you, and this is including your debts. So money is a big focus for this lunar cycle. Paying attention to where your money is coming from and where it is going will be important. The Jupiter and Aries in your 2nd house transit may have been giving you the feeling of wanting to spend money on whatever you want, and there is a bit of an impulsive attitude here. But this new moon is reminding you that you need to be in harmony with others in order to receive the support that you need and want. There could also be the subject of debt coming up with this transit. Maybe you've been able to grow your wealth with Jupiter in your 2nd, and there's now the possibility to pay down some of your debts and bring your finances into a more harmonious state. The 2nd house also has to do with food and what we consume, and the 8th house has to do with what we excrete. So there could be something that comes up about that, a need or a desire to become more balanced with what we eat and what we excrete. When Venus comes into Libra on the 29th and opposes Jupiter on the October 1st, there could be some extra tension around these topics. But once a decision is made and a solution is found, this will start to look up as these 2 planets want to bring good fortune into our lives. I hope this little deep dive into the new moon in Libra is helpful. Let's move on to a 3-card spread for the weekend. Today we're going to do a really simple past, present, and future spread using the Soul cards by Deborah Koff Chapin. These cards have no interpretations of their own. What we are supposed to do when using these cards is meditate on them and see what images, feelings, or ideas come to mind. For this reading, I will do my best to describe the images of the cards and then offer what the cards bring out for me. I would love to hear about what you see in these cards, so please feel free to leave a comment. I am sure that we will all see different things, and it is always fun to hear others' interpretations of these images. The first card represents the past. This card looks like two faces, one at the bottom in the light and one at the top in the dark, and there are 4 hands, palms up, in between the face in the dark and the face in the light. To me, because these faces on this card have their eyes closed, they seem to be in deep meditation, thought, or maybe even sleep. The second card signifies the present. This card has a woman holding a jug over her head, and coming out of the jug, or going in, it's hard to tell, are swirly strands of dark greens, yellows, purples, blues, and oranges. There's a white aura around her head and the front of her body. On her forehead, there is some sort of marking, a flower, a wound, something that is in the front of her mind. I feel that for the present moment, this could mean we are collecting information from above, or we are giving our energy freely, but we are connected through the light to something. And the third card represents the future. This card shows the profile of a black, gray, and white face, and emerging from the lips is a white dove, tail feathers still in the mouth. The background behind the dove is dark blue. There is also another white dove, but it looks like it is inside the face, head pointing to the nose. For me, this card, being for the future, is saying that we will feel guided by a spiritual and peaceful force within that will come out with the words that we say. My overall interpretation of these 3 images is that in the past we may have been in deep thought about something, but right now we are open to receiving messages and guidance, and in the future we will be able to articulate that guidance in a peaceful and useful way. This makes sense to me right now, for in the past I was only thinking or dreaming about studying astrology, and now I am deeply immersing myself in the study of it, with the hope of putting into words what I am learning in a way that is helpful and makes sense. What do you see? I would love to know. Please leave a comment. I hope this is helpful. Until Monday, AstroMommy.
Today's horoscope was brought to you by the new moon in Libra opposite Jupiter in Aries. Quick links and resources can be found at the bottom of the newsletter. Today's card was pulled from the Soul Cards 1 by Deborah Koff Chapin, available on Amazon. If you purchase anything through the affiliate links that I provide in the newsletters, I will make a small commission, but there are no additional costs to you. I don't share or recommend things that I don't 100% believe in and use myself. Thanks for listening.